Good morning, TLC. Good morning, everyone. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful morning. What a beautiful time to gather together. How's everyone feeling? Come on in. Come on in. Yes, this is a beautiful November morning, and I'm so excited to be here with you. I am Reverend Nikki, and today we will be traveling into the deep end. Yes, come on in. Come on in. Such an exciting time, This is the month of November. This is the month of elimination. We are releasing. And we know that to release is also to reap. This is also harvest time, right? So as we release, we receive. As we release, we receive. And we are in line to receive all of the goodness, all of the goodness that God has for us, all of the love, all of the joy, all of the peace. As we release, we receive. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, and we're still in the glow of 25 years. 25 years still celebrating. I think that's going to be the energy to carry us on out. 25 years. How exciting is that? A ministry that's based on love and expansion of love and rooted in love, and knowing that it's the love of God that transforms any life. The life into the light. So good morning, everyone. I'm not seeing. Oh, hey. Hi, Francine. How are you? Good morning. Hey, Reverend Spence, you're up next week. Yes. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. And so we're here. Good morning, Audra. And it's such an exciting time. Hey, Sayir. Good morning. So what is it that we're releasing? What is it that you're releasing this month? Danny had a wonderful idea for every day. Good morning, Joanna. For every day. So this is day 13. For every day is good morning, Reverend Ken. For every day we release. So today's the 13th, and Danny said for the 13th we release 13 things. And if it's 13 physical things or just 13 things within yourself that you want to release, to go ahead and eliminate it and make room for the harvest that is coming. Hey, Armithia. Good to see you. Good morning. Hi, Faith. How you doing? LaRonda, Girl Rising. How are you? So excited. So excited. Fran says, I release me. Yes. Yes. We are going into the deep end this morning. I'm excited and honored to be here. I want to thank Reverend Shahira for having me on this morning and inviting me to stand in purpose and inviting me to be purposed, to expand and share love. When I think 25 years of TLC, I think over half of my life. I think of an opportunity to rest in the knowing that God is, and so therefore I am. I think about the idea of freedom that is not to be requested, but to be owned. Hey, Rev. I think about the autonomy over self and the healing that takes place. When I think of TLC, I think of all the goodness that God is in expansion. Good morning, Eve. How are you? So I'm excited to be here, and I'm also honored to be here. Hey, Auntie Donna, how are you? So during this time, this morning together, we are just excited. I am just excited, and I'm sure as we gather, we're excited. And we're going to move into our announcements. We have some fabulous things going on, some fabulous things in classes, and we want to make sure that you're aware. Soap Mondays with Danny where we meet God in music and praise. And it is an awesome time, an awesome time. Put this number in your phone along with the passcode and join us every Monday at noon to kind of rock in spirit. It's a beautiful moment in gathering together. We also have the Laws of Spirit Tuesday night class. Let me tell you, Tuesday night classes have been absolutely fabulous. You do not need the book to attend. Just come on in, tap in with us. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. We are into, I believe, the 9th week now, and the teachers have been so excited to offer to offer the teachings on this wonderful book. And it's just a wonderful example on how spirit stays with you throughout all things. So come on out and see us Tuesday, September 6th, and join the group. Also, we have a prayer shut-in Friday, December 2nd from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And this is being organized by Kendra Ventura. Yes, the prayer shut-in. We have not had this since 2020. It will be at the Unity of Farmington Hills. The doors block at 11 o'clock. So anytime, if you do not plan on spending the night, just come in and pray with us anytime between 7 and 11, or bring your sleeping bag or something comfortable to rest on and stay with us from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Steeped in prayer as we move into the new year and the month of life, right? So come on out and see us. And this is the month. It's time to go deeper. Once again, this is the month of elimination. We are releasing. And it's time to go deeper. We had last week with Reverend Shahira Stevens. She gave us the final key to solve any problem. That was our power, stepping into the power of who we are. Today, you're digging in deep with me. We are going into the deep end. And next week, we have Reverend Dr. Spencer Murray. And the following week after that, Reverend Royce Thompson. And next Sunday, the God Privilege with Reverend Dr. Spencer Murray. I am excited for that. So, as we come back and we're here, are you ready to go into the deep end with me this morning, with me and with Spirit? If we can, just close our eyes wherever you are and take a deep breath. And with the understanding that together we join in the one mind of God. I surrender my mind to Spirit and open my heart. I'm knowing that the healing light of God is surrounding us all wherever we are. I am knowing that it is in alignment and correction that God is moving. It is with gratitude that we stand in the space of comfort. We stand in this space of comfort to be comforted and to comfort those who are in need. We also celebrate the presence, the divine presence of life itself that breathes us, that moves us, that guides us. I am that I am, and I am grateful. And so it is. Amen. So how are you feeling? I am feeling very good this morning. We are going into the deep end. And when I heard that this month we were going deeper, and then when Spirit gave me going into the deep end, the deep end has so many meanings. The one thing I thought about was when people say, you're going off the deep end, that the idea or the illusion that one has lost their mind, right? You're going off the deep end. And I said that in order to get to that center space to that deep knowing and in alignment with God, with the Christ center, the Christ consciousness, to rest with spirit, you almost have to lose your mind a bit. You have to be willing to let go of all of the things that you may have been taught and step into the knowing of who you are and who we are. And then I went a little bit deeper and thinking about the deep end. And that the deep end is also that place below the surface of thoughts, of separation, of the thought separation in your mind. That the deep end is that place, that center space where you find quiet and rest and peace and joy in the soul, where your soul rests in the knowing of who it is. And so this morning, as we travel into the deep end, it's going to be a journey and moving away from the surface and into our soul center. And I thought about this more and along with the climate that we're in. This was an election week, the week of the election. And I did go and vote with intention. And then I rested in knowing that the outcome was God, that whatever the outcome is, it's a God thing. And it took me back, and I remember when the first time when they challenged Roe versus Wade, and my body vibrated. And I had an opportunity to feel the power surge that was coming through. And it was an opportunity to make a decision in that moment, if it was one of separation and anger, or in truth, that I had the ability to shift and change whatever narrative was attempting to be created. Because the idea that someone or something could take away my choice was false, or is false. No one can take away our choice. We choose. We have the opportunity to choose at all times. And when we choose, we either choose to be powerful or we choose to be powerless. We either choose to step in our divine right, that of spirit, or we choose to allow the ego to lead. And that brought me to this quote from Dr. King. It says, "My sufferings mounted, I soon realized that there were two ways in which I could respond to my situation, either to react with bitterness or seek to transform the suffering into creative force. I decided to follow the latter course." Our choice is always there. It is an illusion when they speak to the idea that someone, something, an entity, a body of individuals can remove our choice. Our choice is always ours. And the power to choose comes from within. So I'm going to ask you today, are you going to choose to go with me into the deep end? Are you going to choose to go with me below the surface of the illusions? And I use the word illusions because, there are some things that are man-made. There are a lot of things that are man-made, a lot of thoughts. And these thoughts that are man-made, I call them the false realities. And these false realities come from an oppressive mindset. And the oppressive mindset is one based in fear, where the idea that to have any type of value within self, you must belittle and or control another. That is a false reality. And so as we move through and we go into the deep end, we go into where spirit and our soul rest. We go into the space where we make a decision to acknowledge who we are as spirit and to leave all other things behind. I'm a swimmer. And the pool is my favorite place to be, especially as a child. Now, as I got older, I realized I really liked the pool with less people in it. When I was a child, the more people, the merrier. As I grew up, I realized the pool with less people is my place to be. And I remember how exciting it was to challenge myself to run off the edge of the pool and jump into the deepest end and just float, or play to hit the bottom and then come back up to the top. And while I was in that space, while I was in the deep end of the pool or going to the beach, floating out to the deep end of the lake, there was a lot of peace there. It was serene and it was calm. Now, getting to the deep end was sometimes a challenge depending on where I was, because I had to go through, if I was in the beach, I don't like seaweed. You will feel different things in the sea and in the lake wrap against you. And it was like, I didn't like that so much, but I pushed through to go to my place of peace. And so let's look at the next slide, Janice, please. The fact that when you pass through the waters, God says, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they will not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you will not be scorched, nor will the flame burn you. There are times when we're pushed to go through and into spaces and into deeper spaces. And we have to have the courage and the strength and the power and the knowing that there is a spirit who walks with us at all times. When we pass through the waters, spirit is with us at all times. So as we make this decision to push through and travel into the deepest part of our minds, into the deepest part of who we are, to release and to heal those things that no longer serve us, spirit is constantly with us. And there are some times that the waters, because you have the waters represent spirit, it does represent life, but it's also a dual meaning, right? Because the waters, as we're traveling through, the waters can be choppy. Waters can be stagnant, and at times waters can breed. If you have a pool and it's not cleaned and the water just sits, it's kind of murky, and there are mosquitoes and things like that can come in it, right? So when traveling through the waters, there are times when our minds or the waters can seem not so clear. And that is the revealing word calls that waters. Also represents the great mass of thoughts that conform to environment. Every thought leaves its form to the consciousness, and all weak, characterless words and expansions gather in the subconscious mind as water gathers and holds. When we get discouraged or disappointed and quote unquote give up, the undertow of life sweeps this flood of negative thoughts over us, and we are conscious of bodily weakness of some sort. When we know the truth and brace up, however, the waters confine to their natural channels again, and the strength is restored, and our strength is restored. So when we look at the waters, yes, there's peace in the waters. Water is life, water is love. Water does represent spirit. However, there's a moment when our thoughts interfere, when our thoughts come in and we block the flow of spirit and of water and of the water. And when we do that, we must find a way to shift our thinking. Now, into the deep end, when I'm thinking of traveling into the deep end, I'm looking at releasing the thoughts and ideas of separation, embracing the knowing of who I am and whose I am, leading first with that I am spirit, and I am the power, and that the power of the living God flows through me and breathes me and sustains me. When I think of the stagnant waters that I have to come through, it's the ideas and the beliefs that have been put upon me versus those things that I believe of myself. In those stagnant waters lies the untruths of, let's just say, who I am because of this body that I'm in. In those stagnant waters lie the untruths of who I am based on a specific region that I may have been birthed into or grew into. In those stagnant waters may be the stories and the untruths of limitations based on dot, 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 and the list can go on and on and on. And the key is to go below that and go deeper into the consciousness, deeper into who we know we truly are, and that is spirit. I in preparing for today's message, I really had a time. I'm gonna be honest. I had a time because there's certain verbiage that's used when describing what it means to be in the shallow. Corinne Hawthorne has a song, and the song starts out, I don't want to live in the shallows. I was made to search the deep. I don't want to live in the shallows. I was made to search the deep. Whom I am is made to go deeper, is made to go deep in the knowing of God and the knowing of Christ. When I hang out in the shallow end of things, I'm concerned about what others think. I'm concerned about and question purpose. When I'm in the shallows, there are times when I ignore the voice of spirit. Spirit is constantly speaking to us. Spirit constantly speaks to me. And in the shallows, it's muffled. The voice can sometimes be muffled out of the belief that whatever it may be that I'm being offered. And so to move into the deep end, to move into the space where there is just spirit, we have to go through listening to what is being told and also listening to what it is that we've accepted. And that is where the Course in Miracles calls the ring of fear. Jay? The circle of fear lies just below the level the body sees and seems to be the whole foundation on which the world is based. Here are all the illusions, all the twisted thoughts, all the insane attacks, the fury, the vengeance, and betrayal that were made to keep guilt in place, so that the world could rise from it and keep it hidden. Its shadow rises to surface enough to hold its most external manifestations in darkness, and to bring despair and loneliness to it and keep it joyless. So the idea of being in the shallows, and the idea of keeping us in a space, and we go back to the quote that Dr. King says, as all of these things mount up, we have a choice. And are we going to dwell in the fear of everything that we may be told that we are not? Or are we going to make the choice to go in deeper and in the knowing of everything that we are? We were made fearlessly in the image and the likeness of God. We are life force itself. We have the ability to birth forth all divine ideas, despite or in the midst of whatever chaotic situations that this false reality of separation brings. When we look at going into the deep, we look at going into the deep end of the wholeness and the completeness that we are in, releasing the adversarial thoughts of separation. We are not separate from God at no time. At no time does God abandon us. At no time does Spirit at no time does Spirit not speak to us. It is for us to decide and make that choice to go in deeper to hear. There are many, they're in the false realities and in the illusions that are created. You will see lack and shortage, but there's no lack and shortage in God. For Spirit knows and has all resources. You would give the illusion that one person is subservient to another, and that is not true. We are all one, all energy, all love, vibrates together to create and to expand and to heal and to be. So when we look at dropping below the static or the stagnant waters and into the flow of spirit, we have to release the idea that we are separate from the force, the life force itself. So, how do we do that? How do we make a conscious decision to go into the deep end? How do we make a conscious decision to leave the surface alone or step out of the shallows and into spirit, into the knowing of who we are? How do we release the false realities or the illusions of limitations within this body? Moment by moment and day by day, affirm the truth of who you are. Make the choice to move forward even in the midst of fear. Make the choice to move forward even when you feel as if though you cannot. I know it seems like a tall order to ask. It seems like maybe, maybe it seems like an impossible idea. But when you just step forth and your yes is with intention, your yes is one based on purpose and the knowing of who you are, you leave the shallow, stagnant waters and you move in to that of spirit, all knowing, all glowing. Jay, the next slide, please. Let go of the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind and reach down and below them to the kingdom of heaven. What is it that you're holding on to? What is it that you can eliminate? This is the month of elimination. As you pass through the circle of fear and you travel into the deep end, what is it that you have to eliminate? What are your limitations that you've placed on yourself? What are the limitations that you've placed on God? Let's eliminate them today. And we have the power to do so. Let's release them. I'm no longer asking permission to be, and I'm no longer asking permission to be free. It is my birthright to be free. And the idea to ask permission to live and to lead a life of wealth, and not just wealth as in money, but of wealth consciousness. Because some will even challenge the idea that you of the deserving. And that deserving, I believe, flows into the knowing. I deserve because I know. I know who I am. I know who I'm in alignment with. I surrender my mind daily to spirit, and I align my heart with that of God to hear my soul speak, to move in purpose. We are here to be vessels of God, to be used in love. And to some degree, we've been told otherwise, right? Especially sometimes, I'm going to speak from my own lived experience as a woman. We've been told where we can go, what we can't do, how to move, how not to move. We've been limited by gender, some of us. And to go deeper is to unapologetically live and continue to birth forth love and light and new ideas. Jay, the next slide, please. God is the strength in which I trust. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. That is the deep end. That is the deep end. When we travel to that place where nothing is impossible, where there is perfect peace, where we find the strength, where we know the strength, that is where God is. And it's in this space in which I trust and I know all things are possible. Where I move past the limitations of the mind, the limitations of the body, and I surrender completely into spirit. It is in this space in which we go and we take those aspects of our soul that needs to heal. We ask ourselves what is being hidden from us, and we offer it to God to heal. And we just rest in the deep end, in the knowing. There is only one presence and one power, and that is God the Good Unlimited. And it's God right now that moves us. It's the mind of God that sees all things for us. It is within God that we take our visions, our dreams, our life, the loves, and we harness it until we can manifest it and see the love that is, and we create those spaces. We must go deep. We must go deep and pass all fears. We must go deep and release all thoughts of lack and limitations. There is no lack, there is no limitation. Only that which we create. And we have to make the choice on how we're going to show up. Are we spirit or are we human? Are we spirit or are we human? I am spirit. I am moving in that knowing, and it is in that knowing that I heal myself and all those around me. So, how do we navigate the stagnant waters? How is it that we're going to navigate the stagnant waters to pull down deeper and draw into our core center of life of who we are? We're going to eliminate, we're first going to identify those thoughts that hinder our being. And we're going to be honest with them. We're going to look at the thoughts that we have adopted that are not our own, the ones that we have chosen to believe, and we will eliminate them and we will cast them aside. And then we will grow deeper into the knowing of who we are, and we will affirm. And in the affirmation of all that we are, and the affirmation of all knowing, we will grow in love and in peace. It's time to go deeper and off the deep end. Release everything that you thought was hindering you, and allow yourself to float freely. For in doing this and passing through all of the fears that you once have had or have held, you will be washed, cleansed, and remade whole. I am knowing this for me, and I am knowing this for you. I am knowing that in this time where it looks like everything is coming undone and challenges are coming, that this is a time of alignment and where mindsets and things are being corrected. I know where it looks like things are going back into a space of powerlessness, that we are actually coming to a space of being powerful. as we remember and we are reminded who we are. I am whole and I am complete. Say that with me. I am whole and I am complete. I am that I am and I am grateful. And let's just stay in that space. I am whole and I am complete. I am that I am and I am grateful. As we travel inward into that safe space, into spirit, out of the shallows, out of the surface mind, and deeper into the God, into self, into the soul. Releasing all heaviness and accepting the light that is. TLC, I love you. I am grateful and I am honored to be here. Travel into the deep and release all your fears. Go into the deep end and know that spirit guides and will guide you and walks by your side, carries you, protects you. There is nothing that can harm you on this journey as you dig deeper into your soul. There is nothing that can take you off course. Once you have to set your mind and you're determined, the light will always find the light, and you are the light. We are the light. As we flow and as we grow deeper into our knowing, deeper into God, deeper within ourselves, and we release the quote unquote world. We release all those things that no longer serve us. We embrace the beauty of spirit. As we come into this space and we go deeper, we realize and we recognize the sweet essence of life, the beauty. We understand that sometimes we hang out in the stagnant waters to acknowledge what it is we need to heal through. And we release that and we grow deeper. We no longer need to ask for permission. We forgive ourselves. We forgive all others. And we walk boldly in the freedom that is spirit. We walk boldly in the freedom that is us. There is only one power and one presence active. And as my soul grows deeper in the knowing of who I am, I grow deeper in peace, joy, happiness. The happiness that I create from my choice. Let's take this time just to celebrate with one another. I love you, TLC. Thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for having me. And stay on for the announcements that will come at the end. Peace and blessings.